Yo, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Jack Oats to go. You either know or you don't. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for the support. And we're going to talk about Alan again. In the first video I put out on Alan recently here, I said there was something else in his character profile in the meat of it that kind of struck me as odd and kind of led me down a little rabbit hole. So we broke down Alan's last name, Fear Rain, or Fire Rain, however you want to say it, into Fire and Rain, or Son of Rain, which goes into Son of Odin. And we did that whole video. So I kept looking at his character profile, and as I kept looking, it seems like there's nothing really important there except for the age of his death. But he says that he likes Destato soup, and it's also mentioned in Ralph's character profile, and that it is. So then I look at Ralph's character profile, and his last name is Neaflem. And I had already made a short thread on Twitter back when he was introduced that his grimoire looks like the meeting of worlds, and his magic is very peculiar. How his fire is used in this this capacity to create illusions or create I guess maybe not necessarily illusions, because that would allude to something like he's deceiving someone, which he very well could be, but it's more than just illusions. He's creating like a separate world that you can see into, I guess the mind of someone else or his own. I don't know how he would explain this, but in this thread I also talk about how it's cool how that his fire is creating this almost like this illusory mist like attribute, because the meeting of the fire giant and the ice giant create mist, which creates the world and the 9 realms in Norse mythology. So when we get to that and we look at his last name and we bifurcate it like we did with Alan's last name, you have Nia and Flem, and Nia is meant to mean 9, and so you put 9 and flames together. To me, I would get the 9 worlds of Asgard, which is created through fire and ice to give us mist. And in the thread, I do point out that his name is also very, very close to Niflheim, which is the underworld in Norse lore. So I think it's really, really odd how these characters in the Spade Kingdom seem to be, they might seem to be good, but they're tampering with the forces of not good. And in another video we do talk about how it's possible that the Spade had been diving into demonic magic and all of that stuff for a while before the Zogratis family came into play. And they might have gone a little too far into it and tried to put a halt to it by bringing in Yuno into the picture, or they're trying to heighten it by harnessing the power of devils in the Klippa through Yuno, who would ultimately end up being Lucifer, as I've described in other videos. So I think but it's this weird connection between Alan and Ralph that I feel like I'm seeing, and I'm not sure exactly what it is though. So sorry, this video in the end might be a little bit useless, but I did want to point out that we do have Neaflem and Fear Rain, and it's that in itself is just interesting. And I'm not saying they're like related by blood, but we do have to also consider that the guardians of the king and queen and prince all have fire magic. that was the big thing. And then we also had Ralph's father who had wind magic. So we have to assume that fire and wind are very, very important here, especially in the Spade Kingdom. But how it ultimately plays out, I am not completely sure. And I couldn't tell you exactly how it correlates, but I do want to keep us on game to something happening with, you know, Alan's story and maybe connecting to Ralph's story later on. So I think we might get something out of this, but you guys tell me what you think in the comment section below. This, like I said, I'm sorry, this seems to just be me like putting together things I already said, or you know, and not really finishing out. But like I said, we don't really have enough information. This is just based on their names alone and what we've seen from them, which is very little. So we kind of just have to wait to flesh this one out. But I hope you guys at least enjoyed the, you know, a little bit of a walk through a little bit of a rabbit hole. But yes, I do think it's very odd. You have 9 flames, which could allude to 9 realms of Asgard, and not Asgard, but 9 realms of, is it Asgard? I forgot what it's called. And then you have Fiorain, which is the son of Odin, and that's pretty cool if you ask me. But anyway, that's my 2 cents, I guess. So this has been Jack Oats to Go. Thank you guys for tuning in. You either know or you don't.